Whoops. Should probably have a mic on the other side. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's flip the mic. Through a maze. Sorry. Always something. Always something. Now I gotta check my audio levels. Oh joy. Not completely sold on it, but I do kind of like it. Think I need to drop some stuff. Need to drop the total number of cards. Probably some of the ancillary stuff as well. Now we wait for people to show up so I can have somebody to talk to, so it isn't so lonely streaming. Do we have anybody here? I don't know. But anyways, let's talk into the void a little bit about what I've been doing. So, I have been working on a big bestial resonator list. One of the things that always felt bad to me about playing bestial resonator was how tight the deck list became. And then I saw a 51 card deck on Master Duel meta for resonators, and it set off a light bulb in my head. If there's a whole bunch of stuff I don't want to draw, and I have a whole bunch of ways to get to our Soul Resonator 1-card combo, why am I not just playing an absurd amount of cards to minimize the amount of stuff that I don't want to draw or would prefer not to draw? So I arrived at 60 cards, and I haven't done the math yet. I've only done the math on starters, not the math on hand traps, which is probably the math I need to be doing. And I arrived at this. So I think right now, what I want to do is go, where is it? Reverse engineer how many hand traps I should be playing. Draw odds calculator. Cool. Alright, so if my deck size is 60, let's figure out the hand traps I actually want to be running, get that total number, and then reverse engineer the optimal deck size to ensure I'm drawing 2 hand traps more often than not. So hand traps, I want to be running Ash. Even though it's bad into Snake Eyes, it's good in everything else. I would rather have it than not have it. Especially if I'm trying to pair up 2 hand traps. I feel like Ash plus another does very, very good, even against Snake Eyes. Veiler, good against Snake Eyes. Mourner is in here because I'm playing Small World. So I definitely want Mourner. I think I would prefer Mourner over Imperm, honestly, because of Small World. Unless I can get the deck size low enough to where I feel like I don't need the extra starters in Small World. Because I'm essentially counting Small World as a 1-card starter. Because I open Small World plus like literally any monster in my deck and I can get 2 Soul Resonator. Or at least Bone Archfiend. This deck bridges itself so well. As long as I open one thing, I should be able to get to the combo. Imperm, I think I'd want to play Imperm. Nib is good. Droll is okay. Ogre is in here just because I felt the need to get to 60 and couldn't think of anything else more interesting to play. So at most, at minimum, I think I want to be playing 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Mourner. So that's 9, 3 Imperm, that's 12, 3 Nib, that's 15, and 3 Droll, that's 18. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. 18 hand traps. So what's the deck size that I need to be running to ensure that I open at least 2? So if my deck size is 60, I run 18 hand traps, and I want to open 2, I can expect to see them 47% of the time. I can expect to see 2 or more 47% of the time. Let's say I drop those 3 Ogre, which would put me down to 57. It gives me 50. What if I go all the way down to 50 cards? Get to 59%. What if I go to 48, 62, 46? 46 gets me at 65% of the time, so 2/3. 2/3 of the time I should be opening 2 hand traps or 2 pieces of non-engine. I kind of like that. Oh, hi, everybody's here. Jose, hello, hand traps? Yeah, you have to. It's modern Yu-Gi-Oh! If you want to play it competitively, you have to. I would hope one day that Yu-Gi-Oh! Introduces a format where hand traps aren't necessary, but I'm not going to hold my breath for that. Phillyverse, welcome. I'm glad you made it. I made it too. So I think 46 is probably a sweet spot. What happens if I cut to 44? There's just no way I can cut the engine down to 44 cards and get 60. So 46, not 456, 46. 46 gets us 2/3 of the time. So if I'm playing a best of 3 against somebody, I can expect to open 2 hand traps 2 out of the 3 games we play. So that being said, I need 18 hand traps, which are those 3, and then I need to cut to 46, which should be easy. I can just cut Small World package. That gets me to 53. And then I can cut extra Synchron, because I'm not playing 60 anymore. I don't want to see it. Then I want to keep the Bestials just because I like the Bestial version. But if I cut the Bestials, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 7. That's 7 cards. That gets us down below our 2 hand trap threshold. So the next thing I should take a look at is the number of starters that I'm playing to see if I can cut down on starters. To get to a more optimal number, because I feel like we're saturated with starters right now and we get diminishing returns on a decent amount of them. Because like Gaia is awesome. I really like Gaia 3 because it provides extra utility, but it's so accessible, especially if you do get to play. Like Stone Sweeper and Res Call, it's diminishing returns playing so many of those. It's because they're going to do the same thing. If I had to keep one, it would obviously be Res Call, because Res Call is not once per turn. Stone Sweeper is. So let's count our total number of 1-card starters and then go from there. Okay, so we got 3 Soul, 3 Res Call for 6, 3 Gaia for 9, 3 Stone Sweeper for 12, a Foolish Burial for 13, Void Apocalypse for 16, Void Apocalypse for 16 one-card starters. Plus Bone Archfiend. Bone Archfiend doesn't get us the full combo, but Bone Archfiend does get us a combo. So that's 19 starters. So let's see what that looks like. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted Omega, not OBS. So 19 starters is what we have right now. And I want to look at the math at that. So if I'm 46, well, and I'm running 19 starters, what are my odds to have one? Because that's all I want to have. 94%. What's the lowest I can cut? What does, let's say we just cut either any number of Stone Sweeper or Apocalypse or Crimson Gaia. Let's say we cut down to 15. 15 one-card starters in a 46-card deck is 87%. I feel like I'm comfortable with that. Very comfortable with that. Also, Jose, King Calamity was banned, wasn't it? No, only in the OCG. TCG, it's still legal, and Master Duel, I believe it's legal as well, but the OCG wised up and got rid of Calamity. As much as I love that, like, Red Dragon Archfiend has a card that powerful, that, like, badass, it is a rather unfun card to play against. You make it, and your opponent just doesn't get to play the game. Kind of goes against, like, the idea of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is supposed to be, like, back and forth. Okay, so 87. What if I get down to 12? 79. I feel like that's too low for as little one-card starters as we're playing. So what if I'm at 19? What if I just get rid of 3 cards and go to 16? 89%. I like that. 89.6%. So technically 90%. So 16 copies in a deck size of 46. We can get there pretty quick. So Stone Sweeper is good because it gives us extra fuel for the Bestials, which is a nice little synergy because you pitch Stone Sweeper, you search the soul, and then if you have Bestial in hand, you have fuel for the Bestial that isn't part of your Resonator engine. But if you get to the point where your combo is stopped, you should have Darks in Graveyard anyways, and it doesn't really matter if you have Bestial, because Bestial doesn't really extend you anywhere without Resonators. I feel like the Wild Wind we can cut. You don't really need Wild Wind, especially if we're playing all these copies of Void Apocalypse too. So now we're down to 51 and we want to get to 46. It means we need to cut 5 cards. These are going to be tough cuts. Very tough cuts. They got to be engine cards. Void Apocalypse I feel like is 1, because all that does is Foolish Vision, Foolish Bone, which we already have good ways to do. And then we got to get rid of 4. 4 cards. 4 cards. Feel like Gaia is probably one. Gaia is probably one because it's very accessible. Very accessible over the course of combo. Even if your combo does get stopped, you usually have a way to get Vision and Grave. Plus, you get diminishing returns on having multiples of Gaia. I wouldn't want to play 1 because when it's gone, then it's gone. I want to keep 2 just so I always have access to it. I really want to keep Stone Sweeper. Really want to keep Stone Sweeper. If we go Two Stone Sweeper gets us to 48. Another Void Apocalypse gets us to 47. What are we looking at 47 cards? 47 at 16 is 88. Same thing. What about 48? Also 88%. What do our hand traps look like at 48 cards to have two? 62%. So not quite 2/3, just under it. 47, 64. Maybe 47 is the sweet spot. Maybe 47 is a sweet spot. Do you prefer the Bestial package over the Supe package? Depends on what's going on in the rest of the meta. Since RDA Resonators is a rogue deck at best, an off-meta deck, you really need to consider what's going on with the decks that are going to be most commonly played. If light and dark monsters are good into the meta, then the Bestials are going to have an advantage there because they give you some added boost to your engine, plus they serve as non-engine disruptions. I could technically count these 3 Bestials right here as extra hand traps, bring my hand trap count up to 21. If the Bestials are bad into the meta, like they were in early fire format, where they didn't, well, I don't know if they were bad in early fire format, but we didn't realize how impactful they were, hitting a Lane Grebo or an IP Masquerade out of the grave. They're bad into the rest of the meta, then the Supe package is probably better just for raw extension, because the Supe package can also be used as a starter in some circumstances. And the Supe package is also good in shifter formats, which is ironically, we're not in a shifter format now, but shifter is a card that is played to counter Snake Eyes, so you may see it pretty often. So maybe there's some merit to playing Supe, but I don't really have a preference. It's just based on what everybody else is doing, so I can pick the one that best gives me an opportunity to compete against them. So I kind of like that. I think 47 is a good compromise. Because let's assume we're playing the Bestial version, because the Bestials are in fact good into the meta, which they're decent into the meta. Like if I open like Valor plus Bestial against Snake Eyes, I feel pretty decent about it. Depending on what the rest of their hand looks like that may be enough. You can hit the IP Masquerade on the grave, hit the effect Valor to take them, far enough off course that they don't get to build a full board anyways. I feel pretty good about that. Plus the Bestials, while they're on board, trade pretty favorably into Snake Eyes. Like, and you can use them to just crash and run into something to force out interaction or to clear interaction before you attempt to start playing. I think I like this. Part of me wishes I could play a second Synchron just to open up some additional combo lines, but I almost always find myself just blind preferring the Abyss, this Potter board. So I don't think it's too big of a deal. If I really wanted to, I could make it my 48th card, and I think I'd be okay with that. Synchron's good, but not good enough to start playing multiple copies and seeing it in your hand. Post Legacy of Destruction, maybe Bestials are still good to have. Maybe. We'll have to see how the meta shakes out. I think a ban list is probably going to need to happen too. Something just to encourage more diversity in the meta. Like, they're not going to outright kill a Snake Eyes. That's still a moneymaker. But they should, like, knock it down a peg so the stuff in lead has a chance. The U-Bell stuff is coming out in Legacy of Destruction, or at least the extra deck card that, like, ties it all together, I think. Maybe that's Infinite Forbidden. I don't remember which one, but we'll see. We'll see. Extra deck. 1 Supernova, standard. 1 Red Nova, standard. 2 Disc Potter. I think I like the 2 Disc Potter in this list just because it has added synergy with the rest of the Bestials, specifically Branded Beast. Plus, if they ever out it, you can hard make one instead of trying to work it back into rotation via like Red Zone and banishing it with an Uva Loop. Bane, need at least 1, I think, just to put things in the right places. Abyss, I always like 2. RDA, I like 2. Scarlet is fine as a 1-of. Scar Red is fine as a 1-of. I kind of wish I had 2. Red Rising. 3 is just comfort food. I could probably get away with 2 if I wanted an extra one. Koi Belt. I think you just need it. In case you open Soul, they let you get the bone. They stop the bone dump. And you have access to vision. You can at least make an Abyss followed up with whatever else you have. Prediction have it that Voiceless might be up there in the high tiers. If that's the case, that's good for us. Bestials are good into Voiceless. You can hit low out of the graveyard or hit the ritual if they put it in the graveyard to make like Dynamundo or something like that. IP. I think they make IP on their turn and then Dynamundo on your turn to shuffle and then Dynamundo to bring the big dude Protector back. So Bestials will be good if Voiceless starts climbing up too. Voiceless is kind of decent, I guess, this meta too. It's like one of the tier 2-ish decks that you can kind of play and have a chance against Snake Eyes. Branded's also got like not the worst matchup against Snake Eyes, so people are playing that. Bestials are decent into Branded. It's something out of the graveyard that they don't want out of there. Although the Branded matchup is terrifying because they just set Albaz and Contact Fuse your entire board away. It's kind of funny. Side deck is whatever. Cross out, Called By just to help beat hand traps. Playing so many of them. Have the ability to do that when we know we're going first. Just force our combo through. Cosmic, just good in general to have. Outs Floodgates, hit their field spell. That was one of the reasons why I was thinking about playing Ogre, is just because Ogre was an additional light and a hand trap you could play to boost your numbers. To plus it deals with the Snake Eye field spell on their turn, which like isn't the greatest thing in the world, but at least has some utility. Plus there's all the continuous spells and traps everybody always places. Yeah. Lab obviously loses the Bestials. Yeah, maybe if Snake Eyes get hit, Lab starts creeping back into the meta too. And Lab does have trouble with Bestials. Hitting one of the ladies, hitting the furniture, getting it out of there so they can't recycle it and keep their grind engine going. Bell's good. Bell's probably good enough to main deck, to be honest. Ghost Bell on Flamberge really hurts your Snake Eye opponent depending on what their hand looks like. Not letting them get the 2 additional bodies out. It's useful. Probably good enough to main deck. Probably better to main deck over Droll. TBH. Then Centric and Meister, I think, are just nice search targets to have off of Soul. I really enjoy the utility of Soul being able to search. search some hand traps, search some tech cards, utility cards, whatever you want to call them. Alright, so that's the deck list. I think I like the math on it. It's not perfect. Probably got to play test it, but I think I'm going to do a deck profile on it. I've been trying to work this out for a while, but I just didn't like the 40 card or 42 card version of it. I just always felt like there's too much stuff that I didn't really want to draw, or I would draw too much stuff in multiples. Like I would draw a bunch of Resonator Searchers and then at least one of Red Zone, Fiendish Golem, and Branded Beast. It's another thing we can take a look at for math-wise too. So I have Red Zone, Fiendish Golem, and Branded Beast. Those are cards it's not the end of the world if I draw them, but I'd prefer not to draw them. They don't really shut any one part of our engine down, but I'd rather see something that actually does something. So we can take a look at that. Let's see, we're playing 48, 47. Okay, we're sticking with 47. We're running 3. I want to know how likely is it that I draw one of my engine requirements? 29% of the time. That's not bad. That's not bad. So if 2/3 of the time I draw hand traps, 1/3 of the time I am going to draw at least one of the cards I don't want to draw. Which is fine if I open 2 hand traps, something like Red Zone, and then starters. I think that's fine. I think that's fair. You get so much value off of a normal Summon Soul Resonator that I think it's okay if you draw something you can't use immediately 1 out of every 3 games. Plus, there's just some weird circumstances where opening like a Fiendish Golem is decent. If you open a couple hand traps, a Fiendish Golem, and they stop your normal Summon Soul Resonator, well, at least you get to set Fiendish Golem for an additional disruption. If it's Red Zone, maybe you get to make it to Scar Red Dragon, so you get to set the Red Zone, so you get to pop. That's an action interaction. Not the worst thing in the world. The one that sucks the most to draw is Branded Beast. If I was playing a higher number of Bestials, maybe Regained would be the move. Like if I wanted to play more Bestials, I'd probably play more Saronir over anything. Because Saronir, if our opponent clears it, gets to dump Lubellion and get Lubellion into rotation. One thing that I don't really like, always bugs me about playing the Bestial package in RDA, is it demands deck bloat, but the consistency to find the Bestial engine just isn't there. Consistency to find the Bestials just isn't there. You have no way to bridge a Resonator engine into searching the Bestials. So you just kind of are left hoping you draw them. But to cut your deck down means increasing the chances you draw your engine requirement. Means you draw your engine requirement traps. It's not good. Plus you cut into hand traps. So if you do bloat your deck, you're less likely to see them. So is it even worth playing them at that point? I don't know. And then it introduces the small world problem, where I feel like I need to be playing small world when I'm playing the Bestials, because it gets me access into the Bestials pretty easily. But then, like, I have to trade out some of these other starters, searchers, for small world. And if anything, I'd prefer to have more copies of Gaia, more copies of Sweeper, more copies of Rescall than Small World, because they don't eat an additional card in my hand. Okay. I think that is enough deck theory for right now. think we're going to move on to the next thing I need to do. And I need to record a little segment for a series I'm working on for YouTube. So you few people who are hanging out with me on a Thursday night get the luxurious and prestigious honor of hearing about this series before anybody else, and get to be here, throw suggestions at me for it while we're doing the little recording. So I like MBT. I'm a fan of their content. One of my favorite things that they did was Broke Boy Yu-Gi-Oh! And I like the Broke Boy Yu-Gi-Oh! Format, so I decided to tweak it just a little bit, give it my own unique spin, so I'm not just lifting the idea one for one. I feel like that would be pretty rude. But it's a series inspired by Broke Boy Yu-Gi-Oh! It's called Dueling with a Dollar. So the idea is that me and one of my friends are going to build a deck that costs exactly $1, and we're going to use tcgplayer.com prices, item price only, no shipping counted, and we build a deck for $1, and then we duel, best 2 out of 3, and then the next episode, we're going to add some more money to our budget. We're going to go back to TCG Player, spend that money, upgrade our deck, and duel again. And I think we're going to do 5 episodes. I think I settled on was a good number to carry it out. And we're going to start with $1 and build our deck up from there. So now that all of you know what the deal is, what the idea is, I need some ideas for decks I can build for $1. I have a couple ideas. I did look around a little bit, did try to see if it was actually feasible to do that. And I have some ideas, but I don't know how sold I am on them. So a couple things I'm looking for in my $1 deck. Since we know we're going to be adding to the deck and upgrading to it as we do more and more episodes, I want a deck that is either malleable, one that we can take in different directions depending on what my friend Sarafi ends up doing, or I want a deck that can be built up over the course of all 5 episodes. I don't want a deck that's going to plateau too early and then we get diminishing returns as we add more and more money to our budget. So one of the things I thought about doing was Sword Soul, specifically Sword Soul Tenny, because if I recall correctly, the Tenyi cards are kind of cheap. So low to high, Tenyi cards, yeah. So we got Mapuras for 4 cents, Nahatas for 3 cents. Oh, a Mapura for 1 cent. Don't mind if I do. Berserker the Tenyi, 5 cents, and then this bad boy, Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyi. It says you can get one for 9 cents. Item price only, 9 cents. So for 10% of my budget, I can get a eventually searchable counter trap negate. Seems pretty good. And we start with the Tenyis. They're nice and cheap. Then over time, we can add the Sword Soul cards to them, build it up. And then in the early episodes, there's got to be normal monsters we can play that are going to cost us like a penny, maybe even 2 pennies, something like that. There's got to be some cheap normal monsters out there. Let's try something like Gene Warped Warwolf. Gene Warped Warwolf. Yeah, 12 cents, 10 cents. Okay. What's another 2,000 attacker? Megalo. No. If only I could spell. Is it Megalo? Let's just do Smasher X. Come on. Megla. Oh no. Why can I not spell this? It's the dinosaur with 2,000 attack. Hold up. We gotta do a quick Google for this. Megalo Smasher X. Okay, Control C. Control V. There it is. Oh, 20 cents. Oh, wow. 20 cents? It's only got one printing? Well, there's the new Illusion guy that just came out too. I remember him being a 2000 attacker. I think it was in Phantom Nightmare. Look at all these cards for a penny. Oh, we're definitely going to have to take a look at some of the new stuff. Some of the new sets. See if we can scoop up something for a penny. Look at that. Jongleur, the Ghoul Illusionist. Look at that. 1 penny. 2000 attack. 0 defense. Perfect. Normal summon this dude. Special summon Tenyi from hand. I don't know what we do after that, but we're on to something. We're cooking. Philly wants to take a look at ninjas. Okay, let's take a look at the ninjas in Yu-Gi-Oh. I remember them being pretty cheap. Everybody always says you can build a deck for like 15 bucks. Okay, ninjas. Oh, there's here we go. Tabari. Tabari's one of the good ones. That's a penny. Yeah, we got Tabari's for a penny. We could do that. Okay, Kagero is a penny. We might be on to something. Baku's 3 cents. Where's Joe? Because that's the heart and soul of the deck, if I remember correctly. 3 cents. Okay. Oh, even 2 cents. Don't mind if I do. Okay. So maybe ninjas in the move. Maybe ninjas. Maybe we start doing some ninjutsu. Problem with ninjas, though. I have no idea how to play the deck. I have no idea how to play it. And then my secondary concern would be we may like plateau early. We may plateau early with this deck. Because we're going to be getting more and more money to spend in our budget as we get deeper. And if I can build the whole deck for 15 bucks, I don't really know what I do after we surpass the $15 budget threshold. So we'll put ninjas in the back pocket, but I definitely like this. Be hilarious if we pull up with a constructed ninja deck for $1 and just start stomping people. That'd be great. Okay, so we took a look at Tenyi. Tenyi kind of looks like it's on the table. Supplement that with like a normal monster beatdown, and we can like supplement that with like other normal support cards that are out. Then we took a look at ninjas. The other one I thought about was branded. There's like 1 million branded cards, and all of them have about 50 lines of text. So there's got to be some cheap ones that do something. So yeah, like Brandon White. Okay, so fusion. We have a fusion. Let's take a look. The theater. Okay, Albions. Let's see how cheap we can get like an Albion. All versions. 10 cents. Take a look. Yeah, 10 cents for an Albion might not be bad. What about Lubellion? How cheap can we get a Lubellion? Ooh, 10 cents? Okay. So like we can get a Lubellion probably. Why am I blanking on the other name? An Albion. We can get a Albion, a Lubellion. Mirror Jade is 24 cents. Ooh, that's a big part of the budget right there. Dragostabelia, 5 cents. Okay. Fallen of Albaz, 5 cents. There's got to be a cheaper Fallen of Albaz too. Fallen of Albaz just came out in the Legacy Collection. There's got to be a cheap copy of them floating around somewhere. Yeah, super rare copies for 4 cents. Look at that. So we can get an Albaz, a couple of Albaz. I feel like in a dollar format, normal summon Albaz fused into something, anything, is it's going to be pretty good. Even if it's not Albion or Lubellion. Titaniclad, 6 cents. What's Brigand at? Brigand, the Glory Dragon. Why am I not doing this? Glory Dragon. Okay, I'm spelling it wrong. Who knew I can't spell? Okay, so we can get Brigands for a penny. Alright, that's sweet. Okay, what's its level 8 or higher monster? Okay, so we can pump level 8 monsters in there. Yeah, Philly, branded for $1. I'm thinking we could do it. We could put something together. There's enough reprints of the branded stuff, plus there's structure deck stuff. There's got to be enough stuff to put together like a terrible branded deck for $1. Just a deck that like grinds its way into Albaz or one of the fusion spells, and then makes either Brigand or Titaniclad, and then just wins the game by having big dude. Okay, so you said sharks, Philly? Okay, so let's take a look at the shark stuff. Shark. Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh boy, Buzzsaw Sharks. Buzzsaw Sharks. Buzzsaw Sharks? Why can I not say that? At least I can probably spell that. Left-hand shark for a couple pennies. Okay. Cat Shark doesn't do us any good. Okay. So Buzzsaw Shark for pennies. That's good. What does Double Fin Shark do? Normal summon, target a water fish in your graveyard, special summon it in defense. You can only summon water monsters. I mean, that's not bad for a terrible 1 penny wolf bark. That's not bad at all. Okay, can we actually go into any XZs though? I think that's the other question. Okay, Bahamut Sharks. I see Bahamut Shark for 10 cents. Okay, I mean, that's not bad as a big dude who can also get us another water XZs. I think I saw a Ribarian Shark on the previous one. Yeah, 71 Ribarian. So I can summon Ribarian, which has no attack. Adds a rank up magic. What's the rank up magic that it adds? Okay. Well, does Buzzsaw lock us into waters or anything? Let's take a look at Buzzsaw, because that would be the heart and soul of that deck. Buzzsaw, do you lock us into anything? Okay. Cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for this turn except XZ's monsters. Okay, so we have the whole rank 4 XZ's pool to go into. Staple rank 4 XZs. Go. Silent Honor. Okay, Silent Honor Arc. 30 cents, 19 cents, 30, 50. Okay, so that might be a little out of the budget for the $1 episode. What about Castel? Don't make me spell Castel the entire way. Okay, Castel. Okay, Castel's for a penny. Okay, so we could do Castel. That might be decent. Abyss Dweller. Ooh, let's check out Abyss Dweller. That would be a good one. 40 cents. Maybe not the $1 a week, but I think that's fine if we just play like Castel Turbo. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. What about Right Hand Shark? Right Hand Shark is a couple of copies for 3 cents. Okay, we can get 3 copies for 3 cents. Add a Left Hand Shark. Okay. Summons itself from the graveyard, and then XZs we make with it cannot be destroyed by battle. Okay, that'd be good. Like a Castel that then can't be destroyed by battle. That's not bad. Huh. XZ monster that was summoned using only water monsters as material, including its card in the field, gains this effect. Okay, so that just hangs out. Let's take a look at some of the related cards. Toad, Kraken. How cheap can we get a Kraken? Ooh, not that cheap at all. Not that cheap at all. Okay, but that's something to look forward to. Huh, okay. So sharks might be on the table. All right, everybody, I need some more ideas. So we took a look at like an Xyz deck. Tenny would be like a synchro deck eventually, and so Tenny. Branded would be a fusion deck. Let's look at maybe a Link deck, so like a Cybers deck. Let's take a look at the Adignisters, because I like Adignister. I know how to play it. And if these cards are cheap enough, maybe that's something we could do. I know Adignister is kind of in a tough spot with the Math Mech engine being banned, but maybe for this series it's good enough, especially early on. Okay, so I see Dark Templar at a penny, Light Dragon at a penny. That's good. Even if we can't get to a rival early on, at least we can like Dark Templar control. Dark Templar constantly bringing back material. Use those materials to make stuff like Light Dragon. Water Leviathan's cheap. Doyon's cheap. That's good. Dan Mari is a battle fader, which is probably good in a $1 episode where we're probably not going to be able to do much other than make a dude and run over people. Dark Infant is 3 cents. Brewer's a penny. I think the big thing will be a Chi-Chi and Picari. How cheap can we get those for? Peru and Picari. Okay, Picari for 5 cents. Picari for 5 cents. One copy for 5 cents. All right, let's do some math really quick. So if I have $1, call that 100, and I need to have 40 cards. That means my average card cost can be 2.5 cents. So 2 cents a card, basically. And let's say I want to play like a full extra deck. So that's 55. So 100 divided by 55 equals about 2 cents. 1.8. So I'd round that up to 2 cents because if we get some cards for a penny, some cards for 3 cents. Okay, so the average card cost I need to be looking at is like 2 cents. And if we need to shave cards off the extra deck, we can do that. We can play like a 10 card extra deck to make sure we can fit everything. Okay. Huh. Alright, so Adignister is probably out if we'd have to spend 5 cents on one Picari. Unless there's another cheaper version. Nope. The secret rare is $1. Okay, what about a Chi-Chi? Where's a Chi-Chi? Because if I can get a Chi-Chi with like one Picari for cheap, I think that'll be fine. Chi-Chi, okay, 5 cents. Which is cheap, but not cheap enough. 5 cents, 5 cents, 5 cents. Let's look at all versions. Same thing. It's about $1 for the secret rare. Huh. What if we do like Code Talkers? Let's do Coder. Okay, so we got Microcoder 6 cents. Rocket Coder is 5 cents. Probably not. Okay, so we probably can't do anything Link. Philly, honestly, Branded has more versatility when it comes to building a deck. Yeah. I think you might be right. I think we might be building $1 Branded. Because I really like Branded. Because you can go Branded Despia. You can always bridge into something like a Branded Bestial. You can go even like branded Chimera. Once we start getting a bigger budget, we can add the Chimera cards in there and like take our deck away from the branded stuff and move it over towards like a mid-rangey non-engine strategy. Really like that. Plus like branded fusion good stuff sounds like a decent idea. Branded Chimera. See, Philly, we're thinking the same here. Branded Chimera. Yeah, we could always do that. All right, so let's take a look at the branded cards. Branded. Let's just start reading these cards, adding the good stuff, and then see where our cart's at. Okay, so Judgment of the Branded. Let's start here. Target level of your high fusion monster you control. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls with an equal or higher attack to that monster. That's a big swing. But only really pays off if we have a lot of setup and our opponent's way ahead. Okay, so we'll think about that. Branded Bond. What do you do, Bond? Special summon one of your fallen Albaz that is banished in your hand or in your graveyard. During the end phase, if this card in the graveyard because it was sent there to activate the effect of fallen Albaz, you can set this card. So this is just Monster Reborn for Albaz, but also double summon for Albaz. That's not terrible. Let's just throw one of those in the cart. That's not terrible. Get Albaz back, especially since our whole deck is going to revolve around it. I don't think Branded and Central Dogmatica does anything. No, that's a Dogmatica card more than it is a branded card. It's just carrying the namesake. Light of the Branded. Target fusion monster on the field or in either graveyard. Return it to the action effect. Then you can special summon Fallen Albaz from your graveyard to your field. And one monster your opponent controls to their field. Okay, so this just reborns Albaz, puts an Albaz target back in our extra deck, and lets us summon something from our opponent's graveyard that we're just going to immediately fuse into with the Albaz. That's not terrible. Let's put one of those in the cart. Ooh, Branded Shadal. Good idea, Philly. Maybe we take a look at some of the Shadal cards, see if those are cheap too. Okay, Screams of the Branded. What do you do? Fusion monster is sent to your graveyard this turn. Special summon one of your fusion monsters banished from your graveyard. Okay, so it just puts the fusion back on the field during the end phase. This card is in the graveyard because it was sent there to activate this turn. You can set it. So basically, if you discard any of these cards from the structured deck that were included in the structured deck, you get to add them back, which is nice for the discard fodder because do burn through a lot of resources. Branded Expulsion is banned, I believe. Branded in white. We are going to grab as many copies of this as we can. Do we have a seller that has 3 of them? That'll sell them for a penny? There you go. 3 for a penny. I don't think we're going to get access to Branded Fusion because I think it only has the Ultimate Rare printing and the structure deck printing. So we're going to need a fusion spell. Something we'll probably want to look at, like probably right now before we get too carried away, is let's take a look at Springin's kit. Because I don't think we're going to be able to get a Luber. Yeah, because the Lubers are going to be money, but we can always add those later. Does Tragedy do anything for us? Okay. Can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Branded spell trap in your graveyard, set it to your field. Okay, no, that doesn't do anything for us right away. Okay, so let's find our Branded in White Searcher. Springin's kit. 10 cents. That's a little steep. A little steep. We want it to be like 2 cents. Nobody has like a half-eaten copy somewhere, anywhere for like a penny. All right, I guess if we're playing 3 Branded White, we don't need kit. Maybe that's something we come back to. Okay, maybe that's something we come back to. That was a little disheartening. Branded Disciple. No idea what this does. Fiend Fusion. That is not for us. Expulsion. Branded White. Befallen. I know that one's not good. Branded Bond. We already read that. Branded Loss. What does Branded Loss do? Not Lost. Loss. Oh, hi everybody in chat who's just joined us. I'm doing a series with one of my friends. We're going to build a deck for $1 in our first episode, and then we're going to slowly build that deck up over time, giving us a little bit more money in the budget every time to add to it. So I'm trying to build Branded for $1. I thought Branded might be a card deck we could put together for $1 because there's like a million Branded cards and they've been reprinted a bunch, so odds are there's probably a bunch of them for a penny. So far, so good. So we're just looking through all these cards now to try and put together a deck. Okay, target a monster your opponent controls that was special summon from the extra deck, and when fusion monster you control, shuffle them in the deck. String of Fates can special summon a fusion monster from their own extra deck. Okay, so we give up one of our extra deck guys. We give up one of our fusions. They give up their extra deck guy, and then we get to resummon our fusion because it mentions Fallen of Albaz. That's not bad removal. It does require us to be a little ahead, and it's only a normal spell. Maybe we just toss one in there so we don't forget about it. To anybody else who's just joined us in the chat too, if you have other budget deck suggestions, something you think we can build for $1, please throw them out in chat. I'm not married to this idea yet. I like the idea, but I'm not married to it. The things I'm looking for in the deck is, one, I can build it for $1, or at least some terrible version of it for $1. Two, I want a deck that I can iterate upon, that I can add to over time. And three, I want a deck that's going to carry me through, I think, 5 episodes is what we're doing. So I don't want something that's going to plateau too early. Okay, Screams of the Branded, we just looked at that. Branded Bond, we've looked at that. Brightest Blazing Branded King, this is the nutty one, right? Choose one fusion monster control that mentions Fallen of Albaz material and negate the effects of all face-up cards currently on the field until the end of this turn. During the end phase, if a fusion monster was sent to your graveyard this turn, you can add this card from the graveyard to your hand. That's kind of crazy. It's just a negate everything as long as I control an Albaz fusion? Huh. And then if a fusion monster was sent to the graveyard, I can add it back to the hand. Okay. So let's add one of those in, since it's recyclable. It does require some setup. Okay, Despia Theater of the Branded. This one might not be bad to add if we can find a cheap copy. 5 cents. Ugh, confusion. Summon a level 8 or higher fusion monster. Okay, we'll think about that for later when we start getting more budget. Okay, Brandon Central Automatica we know doesn't do anything. Brandon Retribution. Do you do anything? Spell Trap. That special summons. Okay. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target a Brandon Spell Trap in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So this is a way just to get Brandon Spell Traps back. I don't think we need that right now. I know there's Retribution lines with Branded, but I don't think that's what we're looking for at the moment. Okay, and then Albion. Okay, Albion. That's pretty important. Do we buy the Italian copy for 10 cents? I think we add one for 10 cents just to see if we can squeeze it in. And if we need to, we can always take it out and add it later. Branded Lost. Kind of a nutty card. Huh. If you fusion summon a fusion monster, you can add a Fallen of Albaz or one monster that mentions it from your deck to your hand. So this searches Albaz if we get to make a fusion. Which, I don't know. I don't know if that's worth it, because if we're making a fusion, we need Albaz, right? Good vibes. Can you even make a worthy deck for $1? No, probably not. But we're both building a deck for $1, and that's our starting point. So it's okay if it's not perfect right off the rip. Not the worst thing in the world. We'll add one. Just maybe an Albaz Searcher is something we need. Okay, let's move on. Page 2. Branded Sword. Okay, I know this is a good one. Branded spell traps. Special that many Ice Blade tokens. Then target one of your banished monsters that is Fallen of Albaz or mentions it. Add that monster to your hand. Okay, this is definitely something we'll want at least one of. Summoning a whole bunch of big tokens. Seems like a good idea. Etude of the Branded. I know what that does. That's not going to help us. Branded High Spirits. Send. Reveal a monster. Send the same type. Okay, it's only in the hands. Discard the real monster. Or I can... I don't think Branded High Spirits is what we need yet. Don't think we're there yet. Light of the Branded. Target a fusion monster in the field and then the crew return. Oh, okay. We already looked at this one. That's just the OTS. Upgraded rarity of it. Branded Red. Too expensive. Branded Beast. Not what we're looking for. Ooh, Despia. Theater of the Branded for a penny. That is what we want. We will take an extra fusion. An extra way to fuse for a penny. Okay, now we're just budget hunting. Because I think we're out of our price point. So we're just looking for anything that's lowballed. Branded Fusion, $1.90. Yikes. Albion. Branded Opening. Okay, so all that's out. Have I looked at Mercurier yet? No, I have not. Maybe that's what I should do next is go look at the structure deck. See what I can pick out of the structure deck for cheap, because structure deck commons have got to be super cheap. Yeah, structure deck commons are super cheap, so let's take a look at that. Okay, Screams, Warning Point. Ooh, Warning Point might be a good card to have. That's not bad in a low power format, I think. Just stop their normal summon effect, stop their play. Let's add one of them to the cart. That's something we're going to have to look at too, is probably some staples, just to carry us through until our engine catches up. Tikaboo. Nope, not playing that. Fusion Gate, that might not be a bad one. Necrofusion. I like the idea of Necrofusion. If we start falling behind, we can Necrofusion. Banish stuff from our graveyard if they put Albaz in the graveyard for us, or literally anything. We're going to have to look at some generic fusions too. 4 cents is probably a little hefty. What about other versions? Is there a super cheap one out? For a penny. I will take a Necrofusion for a penny. Thank you. Why is this so blurry? Let's refresh it. Just do RDA. Yeah, I thought about doing RDA. Good vibes. I also don't think you can build RDA for less than $1, or even something that kind of resembles it. I don't know if any of the pieces build really well at low value amounts. Let's take a look at it really quick though. It's like, let's look at Crimson. Crimson Resonator. 3 cents. Okay, so we can do 3 cents. How many copies can we get at 3 cents? 3. Okay, cool. Now we need non-tuners. So let's look at Wild Wind. Okay, Wild Wind starts at 10 cents. I think we figured out the average card cost we need for a 40 card main deck, and like a 15 card extra is about 2 cents. So we need average to be 2 cents. We can do something like Bone Archfiend. See how expensive Bone is. Bone is a quarter or more. Let's look at all the structure deck stuff. Red Warg, I guess we could play. Red Rain. Okay, Red Sprinter. Red Resonators. Red Nova Dragon for a penny. That's pretty dope. So we would need Red Rising Dragon then. Red Rising is 17, and we need at least 3 of those. So what do we do in the meantime? Do we just throw the first episode? Or do we just try to wall up or find level 5 or level 6 free special summons? Plus, one of the things that makes me nervous about RDA is the ability to iterate on it. I feel like once we start committing to Red Dragon Archfiend, there's no pivoting away from it. You're just kind of stuck playing Red Dragon Archfiend because all the RDA cards don't really play nice with other stuff until you get to a very high dollar amount, and then you can do like Bestial Resonator, Bestial Horus Resonator. But even then, you're tossing out all the cards you got in the early stages, and you're just keeping Vision and Gaia. So let's go back to the branded structure deck. Elbaz. Strike. Okay, so Elbaz Strike. Where did we leave off? Necrofusion was it. Albion. Ooh, Albion is good. Albion should be extra copies of Elbaz. Okay, send a branded spell trap from the deck to the graveyard, and then apply based on where we sent it from. So if we open a branded spell trap and we send it, we can special summon it. That's nice. So we get Albaz on field plus 2,500 beater, or we could place it on the deck and mulligan. Okay, so that's definitely something we want 3 copies of, provided we can find one for 3 cents. Tin of Pharaoh's Gods. Okay, cool. Here we go. There's got to be a bunch from the Megatins. Thank you, Lucky Gotcha Pool. We'll add 3 of those, because that seems like good. Upstart Goblin plus becomes Fallen of Albaz seems like something we definitely need. Okay. Fusion Recycling Plants. What does Fusion Recycling Plant do? Discard a card, add a poly. Ooh. 4 cents. All versions. Nothing for under 2 cents. So I think Fusion Recycling Plant is out. Should probably look at how much polymerization costs too. I know there's a million alternatives, but you never know. Sprind. Okay, that's great. He's a penny. Okay. We can get 2 of them for a penny. Yeah, we can get 2 of them for a penny. Okay, so that's good. 2 sprint in the extra. That's good. Okay. Specials Albus during the end phase and main phase blows stuff up, and it needs an effect monster that was special summon this turn. Okay, so we're going to have to look for ways to set that up. We're going to need monsters that can special summon themselves. Okay, Summoner Monk, no. Brigand. Brigand we looked at. We definitely want Brigand. But we need cheap copies, so we need the 1 penny copies. We want to save as much money as possible. So I got 1 for a penny. Okay. 2 cents here. And I think we can take second one for 2 cents. Our average card cost was 2 cents. I think we can take another one just to load up on Fusion, since this seems like it's an accessible one. Plus, it's only a level 8 or higher monster, so opponent puts something on the board, boom, fuse that away. Okay, so we got some of those. Omni Dragon Brotar. What's Brotar do? Okay, monster you control is destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect. Specialist card from the graveyard or the hand. Banish one to the field. If it's special, target face-up monster on the field, discard 1 card, and if you do, add 1 monster from your deck to your hand with the same type and attribute as that target, but a different name. Okay. Okay, so they destroy something by battle or card effect. We summon Brotar. Brotar target itself. Search Albaz because they're both Dark Dragons. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. I think that's worth 2 of them for a penny. Well, let's go from there. Let's start with 2. We can always cut down. Okay, Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. Ooh, that's something we could do, but we need light monsters in the graveyard. I don't know if we're going to have a good way to get light monsters in the graveyard. Not yet. Okay, Summoner Monk. Levy. Ooh, Levy wouldn't be a bad one. Just let them constantly run over stuff, put it in the graveyard, and then we Levy take the game. But Levy is 10 cents. We do not have that kind of money. We are broke. Be broke. Branded Sword. Where's McCourier? Because the package for Shrouded Dragon is Albion the Shrouded Dragon plus Branded Sword plus McCourier. Don't let me forget, we got to pick up Albaz's too. That's like the most important part of this strategy. Okay, McCourier. Okay, 7 cents. That's a little hefty, but I kind of think we need McCourier. Huh. If it's banished, we can add Fallen Albaz or monster that mentions it. Kind of feel like we need to at least try to have one. Maybe if we play enough 1 penny cards, or if we skimp on the extra deck, we can fit it. Golden Sword Soul. Gordon Sword Soul. Neither of them are named Gordon. Keeper of Dragon Magic. Ooh, that's nice. Because it can add Polynormal Spell or Fusion Normal Spell. Too expensive. Too expensive for $1. Dogmatica. Maybe we can play the Dogmatica package. Oh, Fusion Substitute. Okay. Fusion Sub is Poly. Huh. Only monsters you control. Not from your hand. That is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Okay, I think we're about tapped out from the structure deck. do have to pick up some number of Titaniclad. Do have to pick up some number of Titaniclad. So let's take a look at that before we get out of here. Then we'll move on to our next obstacle. Oh, look at that. Black Harbor Gaming. 2 copies. Damaged. Don't care. We're just playing with friends. They don't need to be perfect, right? Right? They don't need to be perfect. We'll be alright. Let's see if anybody's got high rarity copies for cheap. Nope. Okay. What are the other Albaz fusions? Maybe this is something we need to pull up Omega for. Let's create our deck in here. This is going to be dollar bills, y'all. Oh, it won't let me do that. So we'll just do dollar bill, because that's what we're working with. Okay, let's search for Albaz and just see what comes up. If I could spell Albaz. There we go. Okay, so Alba Lenatus. We need to take a look at that. Okay, Albion. Took a look at that. Sanctifier, there's no way it's going to be that cheap. Okay, what about Fusion Monsters? Okay, Gortys. Requires a Despia Monster. Maybe we take a look at Despia Monsters next. Incredible Ecclesia. Maybe we look at that. Okay, Judgment of the Branded. Maybe we look at the Dogmatica stuff next too. Maybe that's cheap because it's not really super playable. Rinbrum is something to take a look at. We didn't look at Rinbrum Fusion. So Rinbrum Fusion and Alba Lenatus. Okay, let's take a look at Rinbrum. Maybe Rinbrum's cheap? No, Rinbrum is not cheap at all. Oh boy, did I mess that one up. Let's take a look at Alba Lenatus. Lenatus. However you want to say it. 5 cents. I think we throw one of those in for now. And then we see how our cart's doing at the end, and that's an easy cut to make. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so we need to take a look at... Let's just try this. No, I don't want to search my computer for anything. I want to search TCG players. Let's just search Albaz. Albaz the Ashen is Fallen of Albaz. Okay, if high level fusion is in graveyard, gains 200 attack. If a monster you control leaves field by an opponent's card effect, and I need a fusion in the graveyard, I can special summon it from the graveyard. Recurable 1800 beater, not what I'm looking for. Not what I'm looking for. Okay, Fleur-de-lis. Are there any cheap copies of Fleur-de-lis? $5. What about all versions of Fleur-de-lis? No, these are the cheap copies of Fleur-de-lis. That's a shame. Okay, so we need to get Albaz. Fall of Albaz. 4 cents, 4 cents, 4 cents. There's got to be something cheaper in the 25th anniversary. Let's go take a look at that. Let's go take a look at that. Oh, Eldritch. 4 cents. Maybe we play Eldritch. I don't know. Maybe we do that. Fairy Tale Luna. What'd you do? Add a spellcaster with 1850. Huh. Just bounce? Did we just pick up some number of Fairy Tale Luna? As just like a normal summon bounce everything they have? Do we do that? That's probably not a bad idea. Probably not a bad idea. Let's pick up 1. Just for now. I think we need to stay focused on synergistic cards. Shadal Schism. What's Schism do? Fusion summon a Shadal fusion monster from your X deck by banishing fusion, blah 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 blah. Can't attack directly. Then send to the graveyard 1 monster your opponent controls with the same attribute as that fusion monster. Okay, so Schism is cheap. Maybe we take a look at some of the Shadal fusions right now. See if we can get any of those. See if we can get any of those for dirt cheap while we're here. Let's see. Grista, what's Grista need? Shadal monster and a fire monster, that's probably out. Okay, Shekanaga, Shadal and an earth. I don't think we have too many earths. Need fusion monsters. None of these cards are looking like they're super cheap. Construct for 15 cents. App clone. I just need one that's like absurdly lowly priced. Just one. Just one. That's all I'm asking for. I don't think we're going to find it. Okay, so back to the 25th anniversary collection we go. Back to the rarity collection we go. Okay, I think we ruled out the Shadal version of this deck, which is decent. So let's see what we can get from here. Galaxy has reasoning. More Eldritch. Lone Fire. Plants. Darklaw. Okay. Something to keep our eyes on. Ooh, Mud Dragon. Interesting. Okay. Same attribute but different types. I think we throw one of those in the cart just to have it, just to remember it for later. Feel like that's a really good idea. That could come up later. Sortal Iris. The effects have negated. Special summon it. Free special summon. But only if something's negated. We'll have to find a way to negate something. I don't think we're equipped to do that quite yet. Let's see. What else were we looking at? I saw Alpha. Ooh, Alpha. Alpha. Alpha for 3 cents. Is there more versions of Alpha? Because Alpha works great for Titaniclad and Brigand. Plus it's just a good card. Alpha the Master of Beasts. They have a super rare copy for 2 cents. Oh, there's one for a penny. Okay, so we do that. And there's some for 2 cents. I think we do that. That's within our budget. That's just a card that can win us the game if we go second. I like that. Browsing the 25th anniversary collection is paying off. Okay, so got some alphas. Now we're looking for albazes. Soon as we see cheap albazes, we're picking them up. Soon as we see them, hopefully we're picking them up. Eldritch is also super cheap, but I don't want to play Eldritch. I mean, branded Eldritch is a thing, but... Alright, these are like 2 cents. Let's just read Eldritch. Send this card and 1 spell trap from your hand to the graveyard. I don't know if we're playing enough spell traps. Let's count the number of spell traps we're playing, and if we're low, we can pick up an Eldritch just to maybe cheese out the week 1 win. Cheese it out for a penny. Ooh, Compulse. That's nice. Compulse for 3 cents. That's a good card. Remember that when we're looking at staple non-engine. Whoa. Ecclesia. Huh. Huh. Maybe we can put the 5-cent copy of Fleur de Lis in. Maybe. Maybe. Let's remember that. That's not the wrong Ecclesia, but not the one we would prefer. We'd want Incredible. Okay, Dogmatic Punishment. That'd be tight too. If we could fit that. Whoa. Dogmatic Ecclesia for a penny. Huh. Do we just pick one of these up? Can't be destroyed by battle from monster from the extra deck. Maybe we look at that. Look at the Fleur de Lis too. And then maybe we just do that. Maybe we look at the rest of the Dogmatica cards too. Maybe we play like a little Dogmatica branded. Like a little nice Dogmatica branded. Oh, dang. We can pick up 3 copies. Let's do that. And we'll take a look at the rest of the Dogmatica monsters too. Maybe that's a good way we can put some of the fusions in the graveyard. If we can get like a Maximus. If we can get like a Dogmatica Maximus, that would be cool. Do we bail on this idea right now, browsing through here? No, because I see a Dragostapelia for a penny. Yeah, buddy. 2 for a penny. Don't mind if I do. Those will come in handy. Rarity collection. Paying dividends. As long as you're willing to rummage through the muck. IDP? Maybe IDPs are cheap. Not cheap enough for us. Maybe we'll find another cheap one while we're browsing through, like we did with Ecclesia. Intis? Maybe. Don't know if it fits for us yet. Okay, IDPs for 5 cents. Fallen of Albaz for a penny. Hello. 1 for a penny. And then 3 cents. I think 3 cents is the cheapest we've found since. Let's remember the ultras are 3 cents. These look like they're 4 cents. I think that's the cheapest we've seen in Albaz. Because I think all the others were 5 cents. I think we just pick up the 3-cent copies now. Call it a day. Get ahead while we can. So that's 7 cents on 3 Albaz. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Change of Heart for 5 cents. Meh. A little too pricey. Trying to do it for $1. Do it for $1. Okay. Let's keep going. See if there's more gems here in this here rarity collection. Maybe not. Dogmatic Punishment for 2 cents. I feel like that ain't bad. 2 of those for 2. That's a good trap card. Puts the Albaz stuff in the graveyard so we can search Albaz. Although we won't be able to like capitalize on that immediately. But it also complements the Ecclesias we picked up because it can search the Ecclesia. Just play a little Dogmatica control for a turn. I like that idea. like that idea a lot. Oh, I have 42 cards in card already. Hot dang. I wonder how I'm doing. Should probably take a look and see what the deck even looks like, see what I'm missing. Okay, Ghost Spells, Small Worlds. I don't think I'm going to flip through 24 pages of this on stream. That seems kind of boring. Not going to lie, that seems a little boring. Hello, Celadon. Celadogan. We are looking at building a deck for $1. Trying to build a deck for $1. It's for a video for a series that I'm working on with one of my buddies, one of my friends, one of my pals, and gonna build a deck for $1, and then we're gonna duel with it, and then we're gonna add more money to our budget for the next episode, and then we're gonna duel again, and we're just gonna keep going and going. So earlier on in stream, we talked through a couple ideas of decks we could potentially build for $1 that like at least get the worst, most jank version of that deck for $1. And Branded was tossed out, and so far I'd say it's going pretty good, to be honest. So we're trying to build Branded for $1, or at least some Frankenstein version of Branded. And right now I'm browsing through the rarity collection for anything that's a penny so I can just snatch it up and put it in the cart. And we got the Ecclesia, so we want Dogmatic. Dogmatica cards. Let's take a look at those, see if we can snag a Maximus, maybe. See if we can snag Maximus, maybe. We needed definitely needed a Fleur-de-Lis. We need one, just one, 5 cents. Sure, that's the cheapest one. Let's go check all the others. Let's make sure there's not something silly. Okay, yeah, that's the cheapest one. Okay, 1 for 5 cents. I feel like that's perfect. 2 Punishment, 1 Fleur-de-Lis, 3 Ecclesia. That's perfect. Theo's cheap. Huh. Special it from a hand. Target a face-up monster that was special from the extra deck. Loses 600. This card gains 600, so it just goes up to 24. I mean, that's not terrible. But I don't think it's worth throwing in. Where's Maximus? Is there like a 1 penny copy of Maximus, or did everybody gobble them up for playing Dogmatica Tri-Brigade? There's the 3rd Dogmatica Punishment we could play. That would be pretty neat. Maximus. All versions, Maximus. No, they gobbled all the cheap Maximuses up for their Dogmatica Fire King decks. There was another cheap Dogmatica Punishment. Do we already have this copy in our cart? I think we did. Yeah, those are the ones we already have in our cart. Okay, so we're not going to sneak a 3rd Punishment in there. Okay, let's take a look at our cart, see where we're at price-wise. 81 cents. 81 cents so far. So we got 19 cents to spare, and we have 43 items. So we need to add these to our cart so we know where we're at. Add these to our deck list so we know where we're at. So we got Dragospelia, 2 copies. Dragospelia, 2 copies. Brigand, a copy. I think we ended up with multiple copies of Brigand, but we'll just go as we go down the list, that we don't miss anything. Brightest Blazing Branded King. So let's do Branded King. There, that one. Albaz, Necrofusion. I know I have 3 Albaz, but we're just gonna stay tried and true. That way, if I miss something, it's not that hard to figure out what we're missing. Necrofusion, there it is. Boom. Albion, 1 copy, and 2 copies of Titaniclad. So we'll just do Albaz. So we got 1 copy of Albion, 2 copies of Titaniclad. Okay. And we got Sprint, Branded Sword. So we got a Sprint. Then we need to find a Branded Sword. Branded Sword. Another Sprint. And then 3 Albion. Another Sprint. And then 3 Albion the Shrouded. Where are you? It's another thing I should be paying attention to is numbers. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 2. Okay, 2 Titaniclad. Okay, I got the 2 Titaniclad. Okay. I am paying attention to numbers. Okay. It's getting late for me, everybody, in case you couldn't tell. So, it's another Sprint. 1 Brotar. Brotar is a free special and a Albaz Searcher. Branded Lost. Nope. Probably better off if I just do that. Keep that up. Maybe I'll get some added value of not searching. Fleur-de-lis. And an Albalenitus. Lenatus. Okay. Fleur-de-lis. Albalenitus. Dogmatic of Punishment, just the 1 copy. Dogmatic of Punishment. Mud Dragon. Alpha. Mud Dragon. Alpha. Branded Bond. Branded Bond, where are you? All these cards look the exact same. There we go. Theater of the Branded. Despia, Theater of the Branded. Where is the theater? There it is. Okay, Ecclesia. 1 copy. Ecclesia. And then it was Brotar, Warning Points, Luna. Brotar. Very hard to type over your microphone. Luna. Fairy Tale Luna. Branded Loss. Branded Loss. Mercurier. 2 more Alpha. 2 Ecclesia. Courier. Losing my touch. 2 Alpha, 2 Dogmatica, Ecclesia. Alpha. Ecclesia, 2 more. Brigand. 2 more copies of Brigand. 3 Brandon White. 3 branded in white. 1. There's another branded spell. Light of the branded. Thank you. Dogmatica Punishment and an Albaz. Dogmatic Punishment, Albaz. Albaz, where are you? Thank you. Another Albaz. And that's it. Okay, so we're at a 31 card main deck, 12 card extra. Shipping takes most of the cost. Yeah, Phillyverse. It's kind of funny how that works. I wonder if we optimized it, what the total price would end up being. But I think the idea of using the item price only is if you were going to your locals and you were looking for these cards, you would find them in the bulk bin. And you would get them for the item price that's pretty much listed on TCG Player. I've had plenty of times where I needed like a common out of one of the sets that just came out to play a deck I wanted to play at locals, and I go there. It's like, hey, I needed a Cornfield Cotto. I only got 2 from my pools. I'd like to buy the 3rd copy I need of Cornfield Cotto, and then like it's a common that just came out from Dune, which was like a week ago. So the dude worked behind the counter. I was just like, take it. It's like 3 cents. Take it. So that's the idea behind using the item price only. Okay, so we need 9 cards. Let's take a look at what we have so far. Let's save it. Save it like that. Let's find Dollar Bill. No, I don't want to play with Dollar Bill. I want to duplicate it. So I can then sort it to take a look at what we have. Okay, so we have Dragus Depelia, which is a fusion plus a dark, which is fine. That's nice to have in the extra. They were cheap. We'll need them later. Albalenitas, which was also cheap, which is nice. Fallen Albus plus a dragon. I think we have some dragon targets. Albion. Albion was a little expensive, but I do think it was worth getting now. Because if they put a light monster on the field, we just go Albion plus Albaz, and then we can go Albion plus Albaz fuse into like Brigand or Titaniclad, since Albion is the material requirements for Brigand or Titaniclad. Right, because Albion's 8 stars. Yes, Albion is 8 stars. Okay, Brigand. Level 8 or higher monsters. We have level 8 or higher monsters. Because Shrouded is level 8. Alpha is level 8. Fleur de Lis is also level 8, I believe. Luna is a light target for Albaz, for branded in white. Also just a decent card. Bounce whatever they have. 3 Albaz, perfect. 3 Ecclesia, also a light target for Albion. Plus works well with our Dogmatica package, which is 2 punishments. The Ecclesia plus the Fleur de Lis. Excuse me. Starting to lose my voice, which is not good if I'm planning to record this on like Saturday or Sunday. And then I have Branded in White, which can banish stuff from the graveyard. Fusion from the extract, using monsters from your hand or field as material, including a dragon. Can also banish monsters from a graveyard if you use Fel Albaz. So yeah, so we can use the Dogmatic Punishment, set up the graveyard. So when we do have Albaz and we do get access to Branded White after the punishment's lock has faded away, we can actually make some of these guys a little bit easier because we can just send what we'll need to set up. Sprind Effect monsters special summon this turn. That doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. Huh. Except with Light of the Branded, we can actually set that up to use Albaz at some point in the duel with punishment. Dump any one of our fusion monsters. We get access to Light of the Branded. After punishment lock is worn off, they do whatever. They special summon a monster that turn. We Light of the Branded, shuffle back the monster we dumped off of punishment. Special the Albaz from graveyard. Special the Albaz from graveyard, and then fuse away. Maybe it's worth picking up at least one more Light of the Branded. I know it's a little conditional, but we seem pretty well set up for it, right? Maybe we need more ways to fusion. We have Theater plus Branded and White. Huh. Branded Loss. Are we sure we want to be playing this? Target one monster your opponent controls as a special element from the extra deck, and one fusion monster you control, shuffle them into the deck. Also, during the end phase, each player special summon one fusion monster. That's just a blowout card. Maybe we don't play that though, because we already have to be ahead with the fusion monster on the field. Plus, it's a normal spell, so it'd have to be our turn. Maybe we get rid of Branded Loss. Not lost, but loss. Excuse me. It's only a penny. Okay, that's one of the cards we'll consider cutting. Branded Lost is fine. Basically just means they can't use trap cards when we summon. Necrofusion is nice because it puts stuff in graveyard plus Albaz, banish them. Oh, we didn't take a look at Lubellion. I know we did earlier, and it was like 10 cents, I think. That might be a little out of our budget. But if we can get Lubellion, that would be great. 10 cents. Oh, I really want to do it. We only have 19 cents left. Can we do it? Can we add a Lubellion? Because that just kind of unlocks everything. Because if we can... It gives us like infinite resources. Infinite resources. Okay, that should put us at like 91 cents. So we have 9 cents to fill out 9 cards. Can we do it? Okay, let's look at some cheap stuff. Let's look at Battles of Legend. What just came out in Battles of Legend? Any staples in here? Any staples in here for us? Cyframe Driver. Fossil Fusion. All the fossils are cheap. Don't think we have the room to afford them though. No, I don't think any of this stuff is going to do us stuff. At least not this one. What's Fossil Skull Knight? Rock Monster plus level 5 or 6. Gotta be summoned with Fossil Fusion. Like, it's not a bad dump off punishment, right? Because it's like Diet Intis. Do we look at a copy of Intis? I know we saw one that was... It was kind of cheap. 5 cents. 5 cents. That'd be a good dump off punishment. There's one for 2 cents, but we're a little. Let's do it. Let's add it for 2 cents. We'll make some cuts if we have to. We'll find a way. Life will find a way. It's a really good dump off of really good dump off of Dogmatic Punishment. We wanted to look at the Despia cards too. Let's look at the Despia cards. See what we can get. Comedy. Activates a card effect, targets a Despia, discard, negate it. Okay. If this card is in your graveyard, tribute 1 fusion monster, specialist card. That doesn't do much for us. Tragedy is expensive. That's too expensive. Briskinian needs a Despia. Okay, Comedy Adlib. Can we make use of Adlib? Huh. This card in your hand or field is used as fusion material and sent to the graveyard. Target one of your Despia monsters or special summon it. Can we afford an Adlib? 4 cents? No. That would be cool if we used Brandon White to fuse it off. That would be good. Dramaturge. Okay, so all the Despia stuff is too expensive for us. That's fine. Let's just look at staples again. Let's go back to 2-player starter set. Does that have anything good for us? Huh? No, not enough people are opening this to make it worthwhile. Okay. What's the last set that I remember having some decent stuff in it? Probably want some interruptive cards. Huh. Probably want some interruptive cards, some trap cards, some quick plays, stuff like that. We can just take a look at staples. Okay, I'm not seeing any staples in Maze. Oh, Rescue Ace. I forgot Rescue Ace was super cheap. Maybe that's something we should have looked at. Oh well, we're committed now. Let's go Tactical Masters. I remember there being a lot of trap cards in Tactical Masters because of Lab debuting this set. Okay, Invader of Darkness. Oh, that'd be funny. Compulse. Compulse is great. And there's 3 of them for 3 cents. Okay, what else we got? I think Book of Eclipse was in this set too for whatever reason. I think it needed a reprint because it was... No, it didn't need a reprint yet. Runic. Ooh, Runic was cheap. Maybe we should have looked at Runic cards. That would have been hilarious. Although, Serapher probably wouldn't want to play. Would not want to play after that. Yep, Book of Eclipse. Penny. This one ain't bad. Do I have... Yep. 3 Book of Eclipse. That's not bad. Because we can still... We can use it on our turn to dodge stuff. And we can still fuse with the face down stuff. So that's not bad. Then maybe we look for some effect negation stuff. Because we have Fleur-de-Lis. In case we hard open Fleur-de-Lis. Maybe that would be nice. What was another good reprint set that was out there that came out? Can't believe these trolls are $250. Let's go this. Let's search Yu-Gi-Oh! Sets 2023. Yugipedia seems like a good one. That doesn't work. Let's just go to YGO Pro. They should have card database. We can just do pack simulator. Sort by newest. Yeah. Oh, Battles of Legend. We already took a look at that. Phantom Nightmare. I don't think there was anything reprinted in Phantom Nightmare. Agov. I don't think there was anything printed. Duelist Nexus. Was there anything reprinted? I don't remember Duelist Nexus being a good reprint set. Chimera stuff. Magnum the Reliever. Ultras, Supers, Commons. Anything jump out to me at Common? No. Okay, nothing from Dune. Wild Survivors. I don't think Wild Survivors had anything good either. Had all the Dino stuff, but I don't think any like staples were reprinted. Never mind. Enemy Controller was in there. Econ was in there. Do we even want Econ? Allure Darkness might not be a bad idea. Just get some draw power. We didn't even look at like polymerization and the Frankfurt engine. Maybe that's something we do really quick. Maybe that's super cheap. Okay, let's go. Edge Imp Chain. How much is Edge Imp Chain? Too much for this episode. What about Poly? Polymerization. Surprisingly too much. Surprisingly way too much for what we're doing here. That is something to remember. Okay, Syac didn't have anything. Maze of Memories. This was not that good. Guardian Chimera. Whoops. A little outside our price range. Okay, Maze of Memories, Photon Hypernova, Amazing Defenders. Did you have anything good in you? Huh. Gizmekorochi. Maybe that's not bad. Maybe that's not bad just to try and splash in there. $0.03. Can we find one for cheaper? Maybe. 1 cent. Maybe we just throw 3 Orochi in our deck. That's a little dangerous. It's a little dangerous. Because we're banishing cards from our deck. Banishing cards from our deck. And we'd like, if we're banishing face down. Yeah, we're banishing face down, so we don't get access to them again. It's a little dangerous, but Orochi is like a card that can solo on its own. And also fulfills the requirements of Brigand and Sprint, since we can like normal out. We can summon Gizmek, normal Albaz, use it to make Sprint if we need to. Maybe we only play 1. Maybe we only play one. Maybe we only play one. Oh, and we're over. Oh no. We need to find the Orochis. Get those out. Going down to one copy. We are at 99 cents for the deck we see in front of us, and I need 2 cards. Dang, I need 2 cards. Where's Mud Dragon? How much should we spend on Mud Dragon? $0.03. Okay, we'll get rid of Mud Dragon. I don't think we'll need Mud Dragon right now. That puts us at 38 cards and 96 cents. So we have 2 cents per. So we just need to find something good. Find a good reprint set. Defo, OTS, Duels of the Deep, Grand Creators, Brother of Legend. Brothers of Legend. Let's take a look at that one. What you got in here? Anything good in Brothers of Legend? What about in Battles of Legend? Huh? That came out after Crystal Revenge. Huh. Let's see. Edge imps. They're cheap, but not super cheap. Cheap, but not super cheap. No staples. What's another staple we can think of that's going to be good with our fusion stuff? But might also be cheap. Anybody? It's a good trap card. We looked at Ice Dragon's Prison. What if we do... We did look at Ice Dragon's Prison. Too expensive. What's stuff that Brandon normally plays? What's stuff that Brandon normally plays? Let's look at more light of the Branded. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. VLAN Hydra. Okay. Light of the Branded. Okay, we can add another copy of that. I think for a penny. That's not bad. It's assuming our opponent gets to the extra deck. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's this one. Boom. Okay. And then what about like the classic cards? What about Monster Reborn? Monster Reborn. Is there one for a penny somewhere? No, none for a penny. What about like a Regeki or a Dark Hole? Let's try Dark Hole. No Dark Holes for a penny or even 2 cents. What sad times we live in. What about the trap holes? Do you think there's a decent trap hole for whatever? Deep Dark Trenches, 3 cents. Banishing. Yikes. I'm going to go look at some of my deck lists. Some of my personal deck lists. See if there's any cheap staples out there. Floodgate Trap Hole. Yeah, that's not bad. But it's 10 cents. It's too expensive. It's 10% of the budget. Okay. Give me something. Let's see here. Nothing. Nothing in that one. Guess we don't have any outs to back row. Maybe we look at like a twin twister or something. No. What about MST? Node MST. Raigeki? I need a card for a penny. That's it. Nobody wants to sell a Raigeki for a penny. What's Raigeki break? No Raigeki breaks for a penny. What about Book of Moon? Book of Moon for a penny? We're already playing the Eclipse. It's like a big blowout trap card. Mirror Force? Let's look at all the Mirror Forces. Drowning. Nothing. What are some dual link staples? Because maybe those are like cheap enough because they're low powered. No Mirror Force. Anything that... What about fusion duplication or fusion deployment? Fusion deployment? Cheap? No. Well, cheap, but not cheap enough for us. Let's just type in fusion into Yu-Gi-Oh! See what comes up. Fusion tag. What's fusion tag do? Oh, it just treats it as its name. That doesn't work. Overfusion. Nope. Dowsing fusion. Judgment of the Branded. Pendulum fusion. Huh. New Frontier. Oh, that's a lore card. If your opponent special summons a Ritual Fusion, Synchro XE, or Link, except during damage step, activate one of these effects. Add a Fallen of Albaz or a monster that mentions it. Special. That's not bad. New Frontier. That's not bad. Just free specials of Albaz on our opponent's turn. I think we found a card. So New Frontier is a card that we're adding. New Frontier. And I think we're good. Did we get rid of the branded loss? Huh. Did we get rid of the branded loss? So we had 52 items in our cart. And we have 40 plus 13. Huh. We have one too many. What did we get rid of? Magic Cylinder. Magic Cylinder is a good idea, Philly. Let's see if we can fill it. See if we can fit it in here. Nope. All the fun cards are taken. So we have 52 in the cart, but 53 in our deck. What are we missing? Or what did we add that we didn't take back out? Huh. Does anybody know, so I don't have to go through each one of these cards individually? Did we take out the Brandon loss? Guess I could do this. No, that's still in there. Got rid of the Mud Dragon here. Oh, that's what happened. Okay. The Dragon's Tapelia got moved to save for later. Okay, cool. So we are good. We did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. We have 2 cents to play with. Can we find an extract monster for 2 cents? What's the biggest fusion? Let's see. Let's go Dogman. See if we can find another copy of Dogmanica Punishment for like 4 cents. Supers. 5 cents. 5 cents. 5 cents. These are for 2 cents, 2 cents, 2 cents, 10 cents. Dang. I don't think we're going to find another one. Nope, not going to find another one. Let's look at the other Ecclesia. We didn't even look at that. Incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous. Still too expensive. What's another branded card? Cartesia. Probably way too expensive. Yep. Quem is definitely way too expensive. Yep. Mirror Jade. It's way too expensive. Yep. What's something that they keep? What's something that branded players play in their extra deck all the time because they can make it? Over here on YGO Pro, let's just look at branded. Let's go home, leave, top archetypes. Just look at Despia. There we go. Just look at what they play. Okay, Gimmick Puppet, no. Bestials. Are there any Bestials we could play? Allure, High Spirits, Gold Sark. Gold Sark wouldn't be bad. Let's take a look at Gold Sark. Gold Sarcophagus. Not cheap enough. Not cheap enough. Think we can afford a Thrust? Granganol. We don't have Cartesia. We don't have any Despias for Masquerade. Guardian Chimera is outside the budget. Durham Karma Cannon. There's got to be like a Bestial, right? A Bestial we can pick up. Like Baldrake was a common. Alba lost. Nope. Baldrake was a common. What about like a Pankratops? Nope. Pinks are all there. What about Fenrir? Think we can fit a Fenrir? Huh? Do you think we can? No good. Allure? Lure of Darkness. No, those are too expensive. What about Pot of whatever, Desires, Prosperity, Pot of Riches, Pot of Generosity. Desires is 10 cents, that's too much. Avarice is 10 cents. No, Avarice might be something we could actually play. Extrav. F5. Our extra deck doesn't look bad for Extrav, but I think we want to keep it for the punishment targets. Avarice would actually be kind of good. Shuffle stuff back in, shuffle the Albazes back in, and go from there. But we don't have the cash for it. We don't have the cash for it. Duality. Don't want dualities. What's like there's a big fusion, dude. We can... Let's go to Google. Best generic fusion monsters Yu-Gi-Oh! Garua Etox Hydra. Even the Etox Hydra is like 49 cents. This dude, Starving Venom. Ooh, that's a good idea. Maybe we look at Starving Venom. Borlo Furious Dragon. Maybe we look at Furious Dragon. Furious Dragon. Borlo Furious Dragon. Do you have a cheap printing? No, you do not. No, you're pretty cheap. That's good to remember, but not cheap enough. What was the other one? Starving Venom Dragon. Too expensive. What about like... What's the Big Oz, I think? What's like a big just fusion monster? Let's look that up. Search. Fusion. Search. Sort. By attack. Like 5-headed dragon. No, I just want something big to dump off like Dogmatica Punishment. Feels bad leaving money on the table. Blue Eyes Ultimate. There's no way. Blue Eyes is like... Yeah, there's no way that's cheap. Ooh, Kentragina. Kentragina? 10 cents. Something big that we can dump so we're not caught by surprise with Dogmatica Punishment and no target. Something that's been printed recently. Something that's been printed recently. Printed and printed at common. Was it an Egyptian god slime? Egyptian god slime, 5 cents. How much do we have left? I think actually technically we might be at $1. I might have done all of that for nothing because the Dragon's Debellion is probably not counting. Okay, we have 1 penny. All right, I feel pretty good about that. All right, I feel really, really, really good about that. We got our whole deck for 98 cents plus 1, 99 cents. If you count the Dragon's Debellion that was moved to save the later. And this is what our deck list looks like. That's what the deck list looks like. It's surprisingly cohesive. We have Albaz, we have ways to find Albaz, we have ways to fuse Albaz, we have Dogmatica package in there. Very surprised that I was able to fit like a cohesive Dogmatica package in there for under $1. The Ecclesia, Fleur de Lis, Punishment, bunch of stuff that's good to dump off Punishment, including an Entis, Albaz fusions, no Mirror Jade yet, but in due time, some staples. I think we're ready to roll with this. All right, everybody, and with that, I think I'm ready to roll. This was supposed to be a short stream. Turned out to not be a short stream. Surprisingly, this took me way longer to build a deck for $1 than I thought, but it was fun. Maybe this is something that I'll end up doing again, because it was definitely an interesting challenge building for $1. Maybe it'll be like a regular thing I do. All right, everybody, I'm gonna go get some sleep. I need to. I'm up way too late. Thanks for hanging out. This was fun, and I'll see you all in the next one. I believe I'm going to be taking this deck in action Saturday or Sunday. Probably Sunday. I think it's most definitely Sunday. So hopefully I see all of you there. I'm going to plan on streaming it because I think it'll be fun. Until then, be safe. Have fun. Thank you, everybody, for your help. Phillyverse, especially you. Shout outs to you. You're the MVP of the stream. Thank you for being there to bounce ideas off of and having some really good ideas. Really, really good ideas.